All right, let's talk about something that's at the very heart of business strategy, market structures. Now, I know this can sound like some dry economic theory, but trust me, it's not. It's the rule book for the competitive game. And as a future business leader, knowing which game you're playing, well, that's the very first step to actually winning it. So let's dive in.
Have you ever really thought about this? I mean, it's a simple question, but the answer is incredibly deep. The whole power dynamic between you and the seller is completely different in these two situations. And the reason for that, it's not just about company policy. It's actually baked into the very structure of the market they operate in. And that structure dictates everything: their power, their pricing, their entire strategy.
So, what exactly is this powerful force we're talking about? To put it simply, market structure is the competitive environment of an industry. Think of it as the rulebook that defines the number of players, the kind of product being sold, and ultimately how the game of business gets played.
Okay, so the formal definition is the degree of competition among firms in the same industry. But what's really crucial for you to remember is that it's all determined by a few key things. How many sellers are out there? Are their products basically identical? Or are they different? And maybe most importantly, how easy is it for a new company to just jump into the fray? Let's break down the four main arenas.
First up, we've got the theoretical ideal, perfect competition. I like to call this the infinite battlefield because it's an arena with just countless players, where no single business has any real power to call the shots.
Now, these characteristics create a really unique and frankly brutal environment. You've got tons of sellers all offering identical products. Think potatoes or onions. There's no brand loyalty, everyone knows what the going rate is, so no single seller can dare to charge more. They are what we call price takers. They are forced to accept whatever the market price is. They are absolutely not price makers. In this arena, the only way you can possibly win is by being ruthlessly efficient.
And this brings the concept to life perfectly. Just picture your local sabzi mandi. You've got dozens of vendors selling the exact same produce. If one guy tries to sell his tomatoes for 20 rupees more, what do? You just walk to the next stall, right? This is exactly why all the prices are so similar, and it's why you have the power to haggle.
Okay, now let's jump to the complete opposite end of the spectrum. We're going from an infinite battlefield to the lone kingdom. This is a monopoly, an arena where a single player rules the entire market.
So in this arena, one company is the entire industry. As a consumer, you have no other choice. And there are massive barriers. Things like government regulations or just colossal startup costs that prevent anyone else from even thinking about entering. This gives the monopolist total control. They are the ultimate price maker, setting the price that everybody else just has to accept.
And the classic example here in India has to be Indian Railways. I mean, for long-distance train travel, they are essentially the only game in town. That singular control over such a vital service makes them a textbook monopoly.
Now take a look at this graph. Don't worry about the economic jargon here. The key takeaway is that big shaded box labeled supernormal profits. Because a monopolist controls the supply and has zero competition, they can set a price that is way, way above their production cost. This lets them capture a huge profit margin that's just, well, it's impossible in a competitive market.
Okay, so we've seen the two extremes, right? A battlefield with 1 million players and a kingdom with just one. But the truth is, most real-world businesses operate somewhere in the middle. So let's explore those more common arenas.
Welcome to the most common arena you're likely to encounter as a business leader, monopolistic competition. I like to call it the crowded bazaar. It's a busy, noisy marketplace filled with tons of different brands all fighting for your attention.
So here, just like in perfect competition, you've got lots of sellers and it's pretty easy to get into the market. But, and this is a huge but, the crucial difference is product differentiation. The products are similar, but they're not identical. So the game here isn't just about having the lowest price, it's about convincing customers that your product is better, or cooler, or just different through branding, style, and quality.
Think about the coffee scene in any major Indian city. You have dozens of options, right? You've got a big chain like Cafe Coffee Day, an artisanal brand like Blue Tokai, and then you have your favorite local neighborhood cafe. They all sell coffee, sure, but you might happily pay a premium for Blue Tokai because of its brand, its vibe. By differentiating, each of these brands creates its own little mini monopoly over its base of loyal customers.
And finally, we enter the highest stakes arena of them all, the oligopoly. Now this is no crowded bazaar. This is a clash of titans, where just a few massive corporations dominate the entire landscape.
In an oligopoly, the entire market is controlled by just a handful of players. Now, the most important concept here, the one you really need to get, is mutual interdependence.
every single strategic move one company makes, a price change, a new ad campaign, a product launch, it directly and immediately impacts all the others. It's like a high-stakes chess match where you are constantly trying to anticipate your rival's next move.
For a perfect, real-world example of this, you don't have to look any further than India's telecom sector. The battle between Jio, Airtel, and Vodafone Idea is a classic oligopoly. Remember when Jio launched with that incredibly aggressive pricing? It forced everyone else to react, and it fundamentally reshaped the entire market. Each company's success is directly tied to the actions and reactions of the others.
This Kinked demand curve might look a bit complex, but it illustrates a brilliant strategic insight. Here's what it shows. If one company in an oligopoly cuts its price, all its competitors will immediately follow, which wipes out any advantage and just lowers profits for everyone. But if one company raises its price, its rivals won't follow, and that company will just lose customers. This is exactly why oligopolies often try to avoid price wars and instead compete fiercely on other things, like massive advertising blitzes, service quality, and innovation.
So let's just quickly put the two arenas you'll see most often side by side. In monopolistic competition, you have many firms, so your key strategy is all about branding and differentiation, like our cafe example. In an oligopoly, you only have a few firms, so the game becomes all about strategic interaction and anticipating what your rivals will do next, just like in the telecom sector.
So, let's bring this all together. What's the ultimate takeaway for you as a strategist? Well, it's actually pretty simple. You have to know which arena you're competing in. Your entire strategic playbook changes completely based on the market structure. Are you stuck in a price war where efficiency is the only thing that matters? Are you in a branding battle where differentiation is the key to victory? Or are you playing a chess match against a few incredibly powerful rivals? Identifying the arena you're in is the first and most critical step to crafting a winning strategy. I'll leave you with a final thought to chew on. Think about the big tech giants in India today, companies like Zomato or Ola. Using this framework we've just discussed, what arena are they really competing in? Is it an oligopoly? And how does that answer explain their pricing strategies, those massive marketing campaigns, and their absolutely relentless pace of innovation? That right there is the power of knowing the rules of the game.